Well, as if the Steelers don't have enough problems today to keep their slim playoff hopes alive, they'll have to compete in temperatures of 22 degrees. Take a look at that chill factor, and we're talking about an artificial surface that is frozen solid here at Three Rivers. Well, a very pleasant good afternoon to you, everybody. I'm Phil Stone, along with Sam Rutigliano. Sam, it wasn't too many years ago when the cry around Three Rivers was one for the thumb, and while mathematically the Steelers still have a shot at their 5th Super Bowl ring, they are looking at Mount Everest from a base camp.
Well, 1985 is an almost year for the Steelers, but Phil, 5 turnovers, 6 wins.
Yep.
26 turnovers, 8 losses, and that's the answer.
You know, you talk about turnovers, Sam. The Buffalo Bills have been plagued with turnovers all year long. 1980-81, the Bills themselves a playoff team. The slogan around the land of chicken wings was, "We're talking proud." Realistically, here in 85, we're talking possible back-to-back 2-14 seasons.
Well, there's hope in Buffalo. If they'll look under their tree, Phil, there's a quarterback from the United States Football League named Jim Kelly, and he can give them a lot of hope and answer a lot of problems.
Well, you talk about this series. Take a look. The Steelers lead it 5-3, although the Buffalo Bills have won their last 2 games in this series. It has been a good one. And while this game, Sam, might not have the marquee value of other games around the National Football League today, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, there is no bigger game.
That's right. Pittsburgh doesn't have to worry about the other 2 teams right now, Cleveland or Cincinnati. Pittsburgh has to address themselves today to win this football game and control their own destiny.
So Gary Anderson, he himself approaching some milestones, which Sam and I will touch on throughout today's telecast. We're set to go. Anderson to kick it away. Don Wilson, Anthony Steele's back at just about their own goal line. The win today, believe me, it is a brisk one. Flags are blowing straight out, high atop Three Rivers Stadium, and it is swirling down on the playing surface. Anderson to kick it away, and that is another problem with the football, the inability to compress it. It is taken at the 7-yard line by Anthony Steele. Moves across the 21, down at the 22, possibly the 23. John Swain on the tackle. Now the Buffalo offense again for the 7th consecutive week will be led by Bruce Mathison. His running backs, Bell, Booker Moore, the fullback. The wide receivers, Gary Butler, the rookie. Out of Kutztown State, Pennsylvania, Andre Reed. The tight end is Eason Ramson. The offensive line, Ken Jones, Richard Grant, Vogler, and Devlin. It is an offensive line that has not protected their quarterback well this year. So the game will begin at Buffalo's own 23-yard line out of the I formation. It is Bell. He moves across the 30-yard line, and he could go. In a game Pittsburgh, Sam, has got to win.
Well, they couldn't have gotten off to a better start as far as the Bills are concerned, because you can see right now Hank Fuller has got to play him hard. Now watch from the I formation. He gets the ball deep, so he has vision. Now watch him break back down to the outside, and that's what an I formation gives. It gives the back an opportunity to have vision. Now watch him visualize the blocks by 83 right there under Reed. Now he's going to break back to the inside, going to get another one from Jerry Butler, number 80, and he's on his way to a touchdown. Outstanding play on the part of Greg Bell, very aware of his blocks, and there's the extra point, and Buffalo has an early lead of 7-0.
25 seconds have expired here at Three Rivers Stadium, and it's the Buffalo Bills on top quickly. Now you're looking at a man who for 13 consecutive seasons has not had a losing outing. Boy, that is saying something.
And 4 Super Bowls and 4 Super Bowl wins, and last year the same football team was in the championship game. And now the fans are booing him. Hard to believe.
You know, Dwayne Woodruff probably put it best when he said, you know, last year we planted the seeds. We forgot to water it this year. Norwood. At the 6-yard line, it'll be Lewis with. Watch it. He can do the same thing. Across the 23, out near the 24. What a way to get this game underway. Greg Bell what you are about to see, the longest run against the Steelers in 10 years. And guess who the last man was?
He goes to the left, but he had an outstanding block by Easton Ramsden, number 87. Now watch Bell utilize his two receivers. Receivers, if they make blocks upfield, the team gets touchdowns instead of first downs. Chris Burkett and Jerry Butler made two key blocks upfield.
The ball is on the artificial surface twice, and Woodley picks it up twice. Wilson on the tackle, a rather unorthodox pickup of 11 yards. Woodley getting up very, very slowly. We talked about that 77-yard touchdown run by Greg Bell. That's the longest run since O.J. Simpson ran 88 yards against these Steelers way back in 1975. Now Woodley is coming out, and it looks as if it will be Mark Malone, who he himself coming back from an injury that sidelined Malone for the last 7 games. So here comes Mark, 6th year out of Arizona State.
Woodley has a bad snap from center. Now it looks like a basketball game. He dribbles, he picks it up, and he gets hit right there. He just gets hit by Don Wilson, 21, the free safety. It's just the quarterback running and getting hit, which they're not used to.
First down from their own 26-yard line. Through the right side, it is Walter Abercrombie, and he'll swarm the tackle at the 40-yard line. Abercrombie following Kerry Long and Tunch Ilkin through the right side. For the Steelers offensively, it'll be Malone at quarterback. Woodley, of course, has just gone to the sideline. Running backs Abercrombie and Pollard, the wideouts, Stallworth and Lips. Oh, what a pair. The tight end is Benny Cunningham. Tight ends have not seen many passes this year for the Steelers. The offensive line, it is a big, tough offensive line that protects its quarterback very, very well. Word on David Woodley, it is a shoulder injury, not certain whether or not he will return. Again, it is Abercrombie. This time he tries the left side behind Emil Voorhees, and he is knocked down by Jim Haslett and Darryl Talley. Swinney is checked into the ball game along with Stallworth and Lewis Lips. For the Bills defensively, Williams, Smirlis, and Bruce Smith. The linebacking core, the guys to watch are the inside men, Eugene Marv and Jim Haslett. And the defensive backs, a group of veterans. Malone, first pass is complete to Swinney. He is into Bill's territory and knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Swinney averaging, Sam, 18 yards per catch this year.
That was a very interesting play. Swinney, as you see on your screen, was lined up as a back. They sent Stallworth and Lips deep, and they pulled the coverage, and Swinney was wide open. Stallworth and Lips now are on the left-hand side of your screen. They're pulling the coverage back. He lays the ball off to Swinney, and Swinney bobbles it, but he runs up now, turns to the inside, and gets a key first down, and they're inside the Buffalo Bill territory.
And credit Lewis Lips with a tremendous block on Charlie Romes. First down from the 41. That's Pollard, his first carry today. Pollard with 819 yards coming in.
He's having an excellent year. He's 7th in the AFC, and it looks like Pittsburgh right now, Phil, is not going to trap a lot as they usually do. They're going to run right at that Buffalo defense.
Now, Chuck Noll told me yesterday afternoon that he'd like to stay away from Eugene Marv, Jim Haslett, and that big nose tackle, Freddie Smirlis. There's a little draw. That's Abercrombie. Moves to the 31-yard line. Cannot get around Charles Romes. Romes now in his... Where has the time gone, Sam? 9th year out of North Carolina Central. Charlie Romes.
Having an outstanding year. He's got 5 interceptions, and he's probably playing better than any defensive back on the Buffalo Bill roster.
He paid Lewis Lips a tremendous compliment this week. He said Lips is probably the premier wideout in the National Football League. First down from the 30-yard line. Abercrombie. And he ran right into Freddie Smirlis and Ben Williams. 11 minutes and 5 seconds to go here in the first period at Three Rivers. Phil Stone along with Sam Rutigliano. First play from scrimmage for the Buffalo Bills. Greg Bell scampered 77 yards for a touchdown. And that is where we stand. Detroit and the Green Bay Packers are locked up. Cleveland and Houston. It's the Browns over the Oilers, 7-0 first period. There's Detroit, Green Bay. Alvin Moore from a yard out, and the Lions leading the Packs by a touchdown. Second down at 9 to the 29. Malone, play action. All the time in the world. He's got Sweeney. Sweeney's second catch today moves the football to the 25-yard line. Charles Rome's on the tackle. Now Chuck Noll, 13 years, head coach. Should say 17 years, head coach of these Steelers.
He's on Abercrombie right now because Abercrombie should have gone deep and Sweeney was underneath. And Chuck is discussing it. Apparently Walter Abercrombie made a mistake.
Third down and 4.
Going to Sweeney again.
Has the football and cannot hold it as he goes down at the 14-yard line. Charles Rome right on Lips' back.
You're not going to see that happen very often. It was the same play to Sweeney where they had the first down, but they threw it upfield to Lips. Lips has what you want. He has a one-on-one with Lawrence Johnson, 48. He lays the, no, that's Charlie Rome, 26. Lays the ball out, and he bobbled it. Clearly had it in his hands. They would have been inside the 15 for a first down.
Gary Anderson, he has hit his last 18 field goals in a row. Will it be 19? And he shanked it to the left. Oh, Anderson, who had hit 18 straight, 21 of his last 22, misses here. With 9:41 to play in the first period, it's the Bills by a touchdown. Sam, in the Steelers' history, nobody has ever led the NFL in scoring. That man right there, Gary Anderson, has a chance to do it this year. 123 points.
He's having an outstanding year, and he just missed an opportunity to keep the streak going.
The Bills take over at their own 24-yard line, first and 10. Out of the I formation. Bell this time will try the left side. Not nearly as much luck. Rick Woods, who is playing for Eric Williams at free safety on the tackle. Bell coming into the ball game with 710 yards. He had 77-yard pickup his first carry today for a touchdown.
That'll get your average right up on top of the ladder.
Yeah, he's up right around 800 yards now for the year. Again from the I. The up back is Booker Moore. Oh. Miscount. Illegal motion against Greg Bell. Now Bell's 2 carries today. I suppose he's allowed a mistake. 2 carries for 85 yards. How about that average, Sam?
Bell is going in motion, you see on your camera, and he's going just a little too early. Whoops. And, of course, he's in motion when the ball is snapped. 5-yard penalty. Now, Mathison right now is trying to run for the first down. Try to run for the first down so that Steelers obviously are going to take the penalty.
Prior to that run of 77 yards to open up the ball game a few moments ago, Bell's longest run of the year had been 18 yards. Of course, Joe Cribbs had an 85-yard touchdown run earlier this year against the Cowboys. Mathison to put it up, loses the football. Was it a fumble or an incomplete pass? Hold on a moment. I believe they're going to call it a fumble.
Phil, his arm moved forward. It looked to me like an incompleted pass, but they're calling it a fumble. Watch the quarterback, Mathison. Now watch him set up. Now watch him bring his arm back, go to throw the ball forward. Whoops, it's behind you, and he's calling it a fumble. And fortunately,
loss of a bundle.
Mathison picks up the ball, fighting Keith Willis, 93, for the recovered fumble.
Sam, do you go conservative here on 3rd and 21, or do you try and pick up the first down?
I would look for him here right now to run a draw play or a screen.
Mathison looking downfield. He's got Butler at the 18-yard line, and he's got no more. Robin Cole, 9th year out of New Mexico, on the stop. So the first punt today will come from John Kidd. We've talked about the year that Pittsburgh place kicker Gary Anderson has had. How about the season John Kidd, the Buffalo punter, has had? Lewis Lips back at his own 45-yard line. Kidd has set an NFL record this year, knocking 32 punts out of bounds inside their opponent's 20-yard line. All the time in the world, Kidd lets it sail. Lips wants to stay in bounds, but Kidd has other ideas. He'd rather keep it away from Lips. So the ball is out of bounds at the 40-yard line. The Steelers will have excellent field position following the 37-yard punt from Kidd. 7:43 to play in the opening period at Three Rivers, and Buffalo leads it.
It's a Radio Shack Mary.
Jay Randolph and Dave Rowe will be on hand from Orlando for that ball game. The Cougars and the Ohio State Buckeyes. 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Todd Spencer is now in the ball game at one running back position. Mark Malone has replaced David Woodley, who went out after a fumbling snap. Woodley hit. David Woodley will not return today.
One of the keys if you're going to run inside is your nose tackle. Now there's Mike Webster right in the middle of your screen, 52. He holds the throw straight up. He does his job, and that's going to be a key matchup. If the Steelers are going to run inside today, Mike Webster has to win on that nose tackle against thrower.
Spencer is kicked out. He'll be back. Look on the Avalone setback. Pollard in the slot at the top of your screen. And it is Abercrombie again. He gets to the outside across the 50-yard line into Buffalo Bills territory at the 49. Jim Hassett on the left. Sam, good defenses around the NFL as you look at Cincinnati, Washington, deadlocked at 7 at RFK Stadium. Indianapolis and Tampa Bay, likewise in the Sunshine State. You're talking about outstanding defenses in the NFL. I would assume you'd like your middle linebackers to lead your team in tackles.
No question about it. If you're involved in a three-man line, your two inside linebackers have to be free to go to the ball and lead in tackles.
There's a quick out pass intended for John Stallworth. And while the Steelers regroup, let's go to Ahmad Rashad with this NFL update. Ahmad.
All right, Phil, at Cleveland, the Browns in a must game with Houston. Now, here's Bernie Kosar, who definitely passes better than he runs, but he gets the job done. It's a 2-yard run, 7-0 Cleveland in the first quarter.
David Woodley, the man who hit 69% of his passes last week against San Diego and lost, will play no more today. Here's Harry Newsom. He's had a couple of punts blocked in his last 3 games. He's a 3-step punter. Oh, and that one was almost blocked, and a flag is down. It'll be roughing the kicker as the ball goes out of bounds at the 14-yard line. But the Pittsburgh Steelers will retain possession.
3-step kicker. 1, 2, 3. They're putting the pressure. Now they're laying out, and they clearly hit the kicker. He does a nice job of acting, and there's the flag, and Pittsburgh is going to have possession on the 50-yard line. Harry Newsom, you better get down to kicking that ball a little quicker, because even though there was a penalty on that play, Buffalo is going to continue to go after it.
Taking over after the 4th week of the NFL season for Kay Stevenson. And for those of you around Orchard Park who want to know, yes, Hank Bulla will be back. And I think it's a great call bringing him back.
No question about it. And now he'll have the opportunity to put it together just the way he wants to.
1st and 10 Steelers now at the Buffalo 44-yard line. Pittsburgh shifting into the pro set formation. Play action, Malone to put it up. Oh, that's Cleveland, Sam. Almost picked off that football.
Steve Freeman Cleveland was involved in zone coverage, and he took depth, and that ball was truly a one-on-one, and Hip was wide open, and Freeman, number 22, made an outstanding play.
From the 44, it is second down and 10. 6 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the first period. The Bills leading the Steelers 7-0. Here's a little swing pass. Intended to throw it out of the backfield. Last week against San Diego, Pollard caught a career-high 7 passes. In fact, running backs last week, Sam, caught 12 passes against the Chargers.
Well, what they were doing is when you have Lips and Stallworth, all your coverage goes upfield, and it gives you a lot of one-on-one with your inside receivers and running backs being inside receivers, and he's laying the ball off. What's happening right now is Malone apparently hasn't worked all week because Woodley was the starter, and so he's rusty right now. He just needs to hit a couple of passes in a row.
It is third down and 10. Of course, Malone sidelined for the past 7 weeks with a severely dislocated big toe. Now Hackett collapses. Oh, Malone takes a shot. Pass intended for Calvin Sweeney. Terrific coverage by Rod Hill. And Malone is flat on his back at the 43-yard line. On top of him was a rookie by the name of Bruce Smith, a man who earlier this year has taken a lot of heat. Malone still down.
Scott Campbell, who started in the Washington game when Woodley was hurt, would be the only quarterback left right now to replace Malone. Remember, Woodley went out with a left shoulder injury. He is not going to return. Now, Malone was hurt all year long because of a bruised toe. He took a shot by Bruce Smith, and there's Scott Campbell right now on the sideline, and they're right down to the third quarterback, and the first half isn't over. It was a play-action pass, and Mark Malone is looking upfield. Watch Bruce Smith coming in on the right of your screen, number 78. There's the hit right there, and he takes it right to the ground, and if that ball had a little bit more velocity on it, Cal Sweeney would have had the first down.
Scott Campbell, the rookie out of Purdue, is now warming up on the near sideline. That 1-2 almost blocked. Hill will let it bounce. Now gets away, and wisely so, as the ball rolls dead at the 11-yard line. So the 33-yard punt puts the Bills in a hole with 5:57 to play in the first period. It's Buffalo by a touchdown. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers with problems early on. Sam, we've not even completed 10 minutes to play. Woodley, it looks like Malone may be out with a head injury. Scott Campbell could be the guy. Is he ready?
Well, Scott Campbell had an excellent preseason. He had one start against Washington. Didn't play that badly, but right now he's going to get that opportunity on the next possession.
The Bills with the ball at their own 10-yard line. First and 10. Make that the 12-yard line. Here comes Greg Campbell. Tries the left side. Comes back to the right. And he is buried. Mike Merriweather, fourth year out of Pacific. Flags are down on both sides of the playing field.
Let's see. High formation play is going to his left. Now watch. He's looking for a spot. He gets stopped there. Now watch. Mike Merriweather almost takes his head right off. And there's a penalty on the play.
Flag was thrown right adjacent to the line of scrimmage. Pat Haggerty says illegal motion.
Decline.
Against the offense, it is declined. So instead of walking off 5 against the Bills, take the down away. It is now second and 10. 5 minutes, 52 seconds to play, first period. Bill Stone along with Sam Rutigliano, Greg Bell, and Anthony Steele now in the I formation. Again, Bell tries the left side, and he is knocked down at the 15-yard line by Rick Woods. Right now, but we have a stop on the clock. Let's go to Bob Costas in New York. Bobby?
Okay, Phil, after a George Rogers fumble gave Cincinnati the ball in Washington territory, Boomer Esiason throws his 24th touchdown pass of the year. Rodney Holman hauls in the 26-yarder. After trailing 7-0, the Bengals now lead 14-7 at RFK. Phil.
All right, Bob, keep us up to date on what's happening with those other teams in the AFC Central, Cincinnati and the Cleveland Browns in must-win situations. Here at River Stadium in Pittsburgh, the Steelers also need a victory badly to have any shot at all of staying trails 7-0. Butler's got the football at the 21. He turns on the speed and moves it out near the 29. Donnie Shell on the tackle. Shell, 12th year out of South Carolina State. Donnie very, very vocal after last week's pasting in San Diego. He said, we flat out were embarrassed. And he said, when good teams get embarrassed, you want to come back and prove what you're made of.
Well, Donnie Shell, I had him in a Pro Bowl, and believe me, he's a thoroughbred. And he is one of the Steelers that has assumed a leadership role on the defense.
First down, Buffalo. Again, Bell, left side. Now turns the corner. Moves it to the 35, and he is knocked down. Woods on the tackle. As you look at Greg Bell tried to the far sideline, he's got 2 helmets. 5 carries today for 94 yards. No, he's trying to talk one player out of his helmet. No, too cold. I'll keep mine, thank you very much. Again, the Bills come out of the eye. On second down and 4 from the 35. First man through. That is Anthony Steele. He is spun around and tackled by John Swain. Swain started the year with the Dolphins. Made his way to Pittsburgh back in October. Anthony Steele, conversely, started the year with the San Diego Chargers. Was released when San Diego signed Gary Anderson. And the Steelers, the Bills said, we'll take you. And he has played well for Buffalo, primarily on special teams. 3rd and 3, Mathison. He'll run for the first down and a whole lot more. Slides at the 50-yard line. A first down for Buffalo.
This is what a young quarterback does a great deal because he doesn't have discipline in the pocket. He's in the shotgun right now. He doesn't see anything. Whoop, tuck the ball now, and now you're Superman, Clark Kent. Now run, now hook slide, get your first down, don't take the hits. We're going to see that a lot today because young quarterbacks do not want to sit in the pocket. They like to run. And that is a big blessing.
To the Steelers' 42-yard line, Keith Willis on the tackle. David Little also joins in. Now we're talking the 14th week, make it the 15th week of the NFL season. And the Bills are over 100 yards rushing with one man carrying the load, and his name is Greg Bell. Got it again. He's to the 37. When Joe Cribbs first came back to the Bills several weeks ago, Sam, Hank Bulla was running both Cribbs and Bell in the backfield. He has since abandoned that.
I think it's very difficult. And Cribbs and Bell need to go into an off-season program, training camp, so both those backs can understand what their roles are. It's very difficult to play both. Right now, Greg Bell is having a hot hand, and I can see why Hank Fuller just wants to play him.
Again, the Bills running out of the eye. That's Bell. Good block by the Bills offensive line as Bell stays on his feet at the 33-yard line. Robin Cole tackles him.
Now watch Bell as he gets the pitch. Now watch him wait. Now watch him wait. Stutter, stop. Now watch him as he goes through, gets a tremendous block by Easton Ramson and 45 Anthony Steele, and he looks for the hole. And what he did there, Bill, was have maximum patience as he waited for the opening and 2 fine blocks.
Second down and 4. Cribbs, first carry today. Oh, as he stacked up. Shy of the 31-yard line, Donnie Shell. And he gets right in Will Grant's face. Darrell Sims Williams, the rookie out of Wisconsin, also leading a charge. So we have arrived at the end of the first period of play. And it's the Buffalo Bills on the first play from scrimmage, 77 yards. They lead it 7-0.
Now here's the play. Joe Cribbs has the ball. Now he gets stacked up right there. He's still in progress. There's Rick Woods, 22. Now watch 31. Boop, right there. And that's what good defense is. And it becomes contagious. And there's 31 now having a little confrontation with Will Grant, the Buffalo center.
Third down and 4 from the 32-yard line. Buffalo trying to move it. They lead it 7-0 as we begin the second period of play. Now Gregg and Cribbs are both in the backfield. Greg Bell, Joe Cribbs. Out of the shotgun comes Mathison. A flag is down. I believe he's going to be out of bounds or not. No, we've got a catch at the 21-yard line. But hold everything. Flag down way back at the 37-yard line. Andre Reed on the end of that catch.
Looks like a holding penalty against Buffalo.
And it is holding, says Pat Haggerty.
And this is exactly what Hank Fuller talked about. And that's why he's talking to himself right now, shaking his head. The Buffalo Bills don't know how to win. They've got a lead now 7-0, and they're self-inflicting. They're having penalties which have caused them to stop 2 good drives.
Well, the Bills all year long. You go all the way back, Sam, to the first game of 1985 against the Chargers at Rich Stadium. The Bills marched up and down the field and were unable to punch it in. Same thing happened last week against the Jets. Mathison looking left, comes left. Pass again intended for Andre Reed, and Mathison throws it out of bounds. And we are less than a minute into the second period of play. And take a look what Buffalo has not been able to do in the second quarter this season. Outscored by more than 80 points, Sam.
And we're in the second period right now, and John Kidd leads the National Football League. He has 32 kicks inside the 20-yard line. Let's see what he does on this particular kick. He'll probably now turn to his right and try to knock the ball out. Nope, he's going to the left sideline. It looks like it's going to bounce into the end zone.
A great effort. Outstanding effort on the part of Jim Perryman to keep it in play, and he could not do it. So a timeout on the field, and Scott Campbell is on to quarterback the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Today's game is brought to you by Mercury Cars, the shape you want to be in. By Hayes Microcomputer Products. Say yes to the future with Hayes. And by the astonishingly simple new Sony Handycam. All the excitement of video movies now on the palm of your hand.
14:39 to play in the first half here at Three Rivers. Phil Stone with Sam Rutigliano. It's Buffalo by a touchdown. Scott Campbell is in at quarterback for the Steelers, the third quarterback that Chuck Noll has been forced to employ in this ball game. Woodley knocked out in the first series. Malone knocked out late in the first period. And now the second-year man out of Purdue. I think I said he was a rookie a few moments ago. Of course, Scott, for all intents and purposes, is a rookie, although he is in his second year, only threw 15 passes last year. Now Cincinnati leading Washington 21-7 in the first period at RFK, and Cleveland out in front of Houston 7-0. Of course, Cleveland buried the Oilers down in Houston earlier this year. And that is not good news for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Sam, because if either Cleveland or Cincinnati wins today, the Steelers will be opening up Christmas presents at home this year.
But the Steelers have an opportunity in the last 2 games to prevent a losing season. And I think they have a great deal of pride, and certainly their coach has, who's gone 13 years in a row without a losing season. They're going to want to win.
Third down and 7. The Steelers 1 of 4 in third down conversions thus far in the first half. Campbell to put it up. Now lets it fly. It is caught and then dropped at the 29-yard line. In and out of the hands of John Stallworth. Lawrence Johnson, 6th year out of Wisconsin, all over Stallworth. So the Steelers will be forced to punt it away from deep in their own end. And keep in mind, it'll be Harry Newsome on to punt, number 18. He nearly had one blocked in the first period. Now you count. He's a three-step punter. You don't see many three-step punters survive long in this league. Rod Hill back at his own 37-yard line. Look at the Bills. 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Here they come. Ooh, almost blocked again. Good punt. Spiral job at the 29. Hill's got it. To the near side. Fumbles the football. And it is out of bounds. The Bills will retain possession. Frank Picorni on the hit that popped that ball free, but it took a Bills bounce and went out of bounds.
They're on NBC with 5 of America's top 6 teams. Number 5 Michigan battles 6th-ranked Nebraska at the Fiesta Bowl. Then the Rose Bowl pits UCLA against number 3 Iowa. And the Orange Bowl is the setting as number 1 Penn State battles 2nd-ranked Oklahoma for the national championship. New Year's Day, the best and brightest are on NBC.
13 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the first half. Stay tuned. We will be taking you to NFL 85 at halftime. Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, and Pete Axtell. First and 10, Buffalo at their own 44-yard line. Play action. Mathison wants to go downfield. Oh, he's got a receiver. Andre Reed, an outstanding catch at the Steeler 35-yard line. A 19-yard pickup for the Bills, and Reed is awfully slow getting up.
You would be too if you got hit in the middle of the back. Now, it's a play-action pass because they've been running out of the eye. It gives Mathison some more time. Now, he lays the ball up. It's a little too high, but watch Reed's concentration. Goes up, makes the catch, and here's what counts. He gets stuck right in the back by Rick Woods, 22, but he hangs on to the football, and that's a rookie who had 44 catches coming into the game from Kutztown State. You know where Kutztown State is?
Right here in PA.
It's not outside San Diego. Nice catch by the rookie.
Talk about receivers coming into the NFL, Sam. It's tough enough when you come out of a major college program, but an almost impossibility when you're coming out of a Division II program.
And that's why he has a lot of ability, because talent surfaces.
Bell comes left, drives back to the right side, and the Steelers shove it down. David Little, the man who caused the defensive signals, now that Jack Lambert is history, pursued that play very, very well.
Greg Bell was running a play they've run all game long. It's a pitch out. Now he waited. Now what he should do is go back to the line of scrimmage, because he's not going to outrun the Pittsburgh linebackers, and David Little made the play, and now they have a negative play, 2nd down and 12. Keep the ball to the line of scrimmage. Don't come up with negative yardage.
Play action. Mathison will roll left. He'll take it upfield himself. And out of bounds he goes. David Little chases him to the sideline. Clock stopped here in Pittsburgh. Let's go to Bob Costas for this NFL update. Bob?
Phil, moments after a 31-yard pass from Kozar to Ozzie Newsome brought them to the doorstep, the same combination clicks. 2-yard play for the TD. It's the 500th career catch for Newsome, most ever by a tight end, extending his own record. More importantly, Browns 14, Oilers zip.
Thank you, Bob. 14-0. Cleveland now leading the Oilers. Of course, a moment ago, Bob told you that Cincinnati out in front of the Skins at RFK 21-7. Now you can bet the PA man will not be announcing those scores while this game is going on. Flag is down. Mathison unloads. It is caught by Butler at the 20-yard line. Touchdown, Buffalo, but a flag is down. Wait just a moment. Boy, the Bills with 2 big plays thus far in this ball game. It's against the Steelers, I believe. Let's listen.
Offside, number 92, defense, decline, touchdown.
Keith Gary offside, the defensive end on the right side for Pittsburgh.
This is what an athlete can do for you at quarterback. He's in a shotgun now. He runs back to the outside. He's outrunning 93 Keith Willis. Now watch him get the ball to Jerry Butler. And this is the Jerry Butler of old. Makes a nice catch. Now watch him make the move to the inside. Gets a nice screen from Andre Reed. And he gets into the end zone. And now Buffalo is ahead 14-0. With this extra point, it'll be 14-0.
Anxious anticipation from the coach, Sam Rutigliano. 11:32 to play in the second period. Now there's a man who has been to the Super Bowl, well, 4 times and has tasted the sweet wines of victory there, Sam. Boy, I'll tell you what, Super Bowl victory number 5 must seem like a millennia away right now to Chuck Noll.
Well, this game, Phil, is you're either stomping the grapes or you're drinking the wine. And right now, Chuck Noll is stomping the grapes. But this game is not over. Scott Campbell is back in the game, but he's got to get the ball upfield to Stallworth and Lips because they're 2 big play receivers.
Well, Todd Spencer at the 1-yard line. He's to the 21, out across the 22 and down there. Dean Frater on the tackle. So here comes the second-year man out of Purdue, Scott Campbell. Now, Chuck Noll earlier was somewhat critical of Scott, saying that, well, he just hasn't thrown the ball well in practice. And he was as puzzled as anybody else. But when Scott heard that, he said, well, you know, wait just a minute. He said, I'm surprised to hear my head coach say that. I haven't had a lot of playing time, and quite frankly, skills erode when you don't play. Do you buy that, Sam?
No question about it. A quarterback who is a backup or he's third man on the roster doesn't get an opportunity during the course of the week to throw the football at all. And very frankly, in a season of 16 games, you're not throwing the ball Wednesday and Thursday. It's just like a hitter not having batting practice. He's just not going to be able to continue to refine his skills.
We're looking at Steve Maidlow, the inside linebacker on the left side for the Buffalo Bills. He is injured on the play, slow getting up, so Campbell will take the opportunity to trot back and say a few words to Chuck Noll. Of course, Campbell, a couple of times last year, Sam, showed that he can really contribute when called upon. He produced a couple of touchdown drives. I remember one, he came in to replace Mark Malone at New Orleans with his team trailing 27-17. And he brought the team back. A couple of weeks later, I remember he took over against the Browns. You must remember that game. Drove the club 70 yards in 7 plays for a second quarter touchdown. So Campbell has shown that he can perform when given the opportunity. He has only started 1 game here in 1985. It came a few weeks back when David Woodley came down, I believe, with the flu the night before the game against the Washington Redskins. So we're set to go. Maidlow is up, and off. 14-0 Buffalo. Pass complete, knocked out of bounds is Lewis Lips. Lawrence Johnson on the coverage. Sam, you cut Lawrence Johnson at Cleveland. Why?
Well, we didn't cut him. Louis Lips just made his 100th career reception, but we traded Lawrence Johnson to the Buffalo Bills. He was our second-round draft choice from Wisconsin because of Benefield and Dixon.
How about those numbers right there? Lips with 14 touchdowns. He has scored touchdowns 3 different ways. There goes Pollard through the left side. He's across the 35, near the 36. Don Wilson on the stop. You remember the years when the Steelers led the National Football League in rushing touchdowns, Sam? This year, in 14 games, they have a grand total of 12 touchdowns on the ground.
Well, the difference, of course, is Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier. You never saw a jockey carry a horse across the finish line. You need the good people. And that's why they're a great rushing team.
10 minutes and 29 seconds to play. Campbell to Abercrombie. Abercrombie had 5 receptions last Sunday night against the Chargers. Steve Freeman on the tackle. Freeman, an interesting story. He's in his 11th year now out of Mississippi State. And 10 years ago at New England, Hank Fuller cut Steve Freeman.
Well, Hank Fuller then was the defensive coordinator, and now he's the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, and so he sees the picture a lot clearer. Steve Freeman is a Hank Fuller type of player. He will dance every dance and play from the soles of his feet, no matter what the conditions are.
Cincinnati now out in front of Washington, 24-7. There goes Abercrombie again across the 45 near the 46. Bruce Smith, the Outland Trophy winner out of Virginia Tech. There's a man who not only plays defensive end, but has seen some work in the offensive backfield of the Bills this year, a la Williams, the refrigerator in Chicago.
Bruce Smith was a number one. He was the first player selected in the draft, and in his college career, he had 46 sacks, and up until this game, he has 5.5 sacks, and this is a key first down. The Steelers need to retain possession and get in for a score.
That's Pollard. He'll be very, very close. I'm not certain he got it.
He's going to get a good spot on the sideline, and that always amazes me how those officials from the sideline can spot the ball, and both coaches look with anguish from the sideline. And it's going to be very, very close, and I believe the Steelers will go for it if it's not a first down. But it is a first down.
They're not even going to measure it. First down, Pittsburgh, now at the 48-yard line.
Get the ball upfield to Lewis Lips and John Stallworth. They need a big play. They need to score on this drive.
A couple of big plays on this ball game by Bell and Butler, and the Bills are out in front. Pass intended for Lips. Good coverage, more of a screen by the left corner, Lawrence Johnson.
Lips was going out for a short out. He faked and he was going upfield. Watch Lips now on Johnson. He caught this pass before. He's going now. Watch him go to the outside. Now go upside, up top. Now Campbell should throw this ball high. If he would have thrown the ball high rather than hard to the inside, as a matter of fact, if Johnson was aware of where the ball was, he would have intercepted it. It just wasn't a good throw on the part of the quarterback.
Second down and 10 now from the 48. Stallworth, pardon me, that is Lips in motion to give, is to Abercrombie, and he is stacked up. Gain of possibly a yard. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WGRZ TV2 Buffalo.
9 minutes and 9 seconds to play in the first half. The Buffalo Bills with a 77-yard touchdown run from Greg Bell on the first play from scrimmage this afternoon, and a second period touchdown by Jerry Butler. And the Bills are out in front of the Steelers 14-0.
Looks like the Bills are up for a blitz, and they're coming.
Campbell reads it nicely. It's complete. Stallworth has it, and he is smacked at the 40-yard line by Johnson. And we have got a flag down.
What a nice job by Scott Campbell. They had a free blitzer, number 21, Don Wilson, and he found John Stallworth, number 82. Now watch him. The blitzer is coming from the right. There he is free. He gets the ball up quickly to Stallworth. He's being covered by Lawrence Johnson. Stallworth carries the ball far enough for a first down. Good awareness, and as we said earlier, it's important for Pittsburgh right now to get on the scoreboard.
First down. The flag that fell on the playing surface dropped out of the official's pocket. He picked it right back up. No penalty. Here comes the reverse. Lewis Lips. And the Bills sniff it out. Lips gets back to the line of scrimmage. The ball is on the field. And the Bills have recovered. Don Wilson carries it all the way, and the Buffalo Bills are out in front 20-0.
Chuck Noll is pondering it right now that are going to happen. It was a slow developing reverse, and there's Wilson right now, who picked up the fumble just like it was the Boston Celtics on the fast break and ran for a touchdown. Chuck Noll right now is talking to Campbell, and the Buffalo Bills are out in front 20-0 and could make it 21-0 on this extra point. And we talked about this in the pregame. 5 turnovers, 6 wins, 26 turnovers, 8 losses.
Third point after this afternoon. And boy, they are mixing it up down here now at the 10-yard line. in the thick of it. Can you believe it? The Buffalo Bills with 21 points in the first quarter and a half, and that is their biggest production of the year, Sam.
It was a handoff to Abercrombie, 34. He hands it back to Louis Lips. He's hesitating a little bit, trying to find the hole, bounces to the outside, gets a decent block by the quarterback. Now he's hit, and the fumble came from the outside. Now watch the way that ball bounces right up into his hand. Looks like a fast break by the Boston Celtics. And now Wilson Campbell misses the tackle, and now Wilson is going into the end zone, and it's 21-0, and it's really a 14-point play because the Steelers, who were down 14-0, were going in possibly for a score, and the Steelers now have 2 turnovers, and that is really where the problem has lied for the Steelers in the first 14 games. Now Buffalo has a 21-0 lead with 7:45 to play in the first half.
Don Wilson, it is his second touchdown in his NFL career, and he is only in his second season out of North Carolina State. Don't forget, stay tuned. 7 minutes and 45 seconds away. We will take you to NFL 85 with Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, and Pete Axtell. You'll be taking a look at Axe's playoff picture, and it is muddled. Believe me, muddled at best. Norwood, short kick. Spencer at the 9-yard line. Across the 30. And finally swarmed under at the 38-yard line. Anthony Dickerson and Scott Norwood on the tackle.
This is very difficult for Scott Campbell right now, Phil, because it's 21-0. He can't use Pollard and Abercrombie in the running game. He's got to get the ball upfield. Buffalo knows that. They're going to put a lot of pressure on him. So Scott Campbell right now is in a very difficult situation because he's in a hole and he's got to make big plays for him to get back in this football game.
First down, Pittsburgh. At their own 39, play action, Campbell to the right. Intended for Benny Cunningham, and he could not hold it. Campbell throwing about 3 steps behind Benny. Boy, tight ends this year, Sam, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Talking primarily Benny Cunningham and Preston Gothard. Only 8 catches all season.
They do not throw to their tight ends. I believe that's something they're going to have to address in 1986 because you need those inside receivers to help Stallworth and Lips.
The give is to Abercrombie. He's trying to get around the left side. Will not be able to do it. Chased out by Charles Rome. Boy, the Bills defense strung that play out nicely. Sam, I have seen the Bills. This is the 4th time this year. And I'll tell you, in all 4 games I have seen them play, this defense does not look like a ball club that is 2-12. Believe me.
The credit has to go to Hank Bulla because Hank Bulla is a winner. He was a winner at Michigan State. He was a winner at Cincinnati. He was a winner every place that he's been. And he has instilled that kind of pride in the defense. And I think he'll do that with this team when he has an opportunity to take it over and build it the way he wants to for a complete year.
3rd down and 3, Campbell. It is knocked down. Outstanding bit of defense by Charles Rome.
We're going to have a roughing the passer penalty on Buffalo, and that will be a 1st down. And it's going to be against 78, Bruce Smith. Now there's Campbell dropping in the pocket. He's looking upfield. Now here it comes from the outside. And boom. Oh yes, there's the hit right there, and it's a good call by the official.
Bruce Smith has got to be wondering, what can I do to get things right? He was criticized earlier in the year for his ineffectiveness against the run. They told him to be more aggressive, go after people. This is no walk in the park, Bruce. You got to go bite people's legs off. And now he goes after Scott Campbell and gets flagged for a late hit. But it was a good call, as Sam Rutigliano mentioned. 7:18 to play, first half. On 1st down, it is complete to John Stallworth. and Charles Romes with good coverage.
And Rod Hill has replaced Lawrence Johnson at cornerback. Rod Hill, who they acquired from the Dallas Cowboys, is number 25. He's now playing the left corner for Buffalo.
Stallworth's numbers averaging 12.5 yards a catch. Boy, that man has been over the 3,000-yard plateau for the Steelers, more than any receiver in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. John has caught for over 1,000 yards on 3 different occasions. Pollard took on Don Wilson, Sam, helmet to helmet.
Right now, he's rubbing his eyes, and I think that came from the markings on the sideline. He's having a banner year. Came into the game with 850 yards. Good block by Abercrombie, 34. Now watch Pollard turn it on. Now, wham! He runs right over, and I almost ran over Phil Stone in the press box right now. And Frank Pollard has the first down.
Pollard out of the ball game. Morris is in. Campbell to put it up. All the time in the world. Lets it sail. That is his 15th touchdown this year. And that surpasses Franco Harris's total of 14. So with 6:19 to play in the first half, a flag goes down. The Pittsburgh Steelers are finally on the scoreboard.
I like Campbell on this. He's trying to look to his right. He sees he has good protection. Now, he has some patience, pulls the ball down. Now he finds Lips. He throws right over the top of Donnie Wilson, and he may have tipped the ball, and Lips has his 15th touchdown.
For Lips, Sam, that is also his 12th touchdown via the pass. And that ties Buddy Dial.
Watch Lips. He's on the inside, and he goes to the base of the end zone. He doesn't stop. He keeps fighting it because he's being doubled by Wilson, and he makes the catch, and that really is number 25. Rod Hill should never have lost Lips, even though they were scrambling on the part of the quarterback, and there was time. They had plenty of time. Rod Hill lost his concentration, and he should have stayed with Lips. That's just Louis Lips playing with the game and trying to find an open spot in the end zone, and Scott Campbell showed outstanding patience in finding him.
5 plays, 62 yards. It took the Steelers only a minute and 26 under the direction of the second-year quarterback out of Purdue, Scott Campbell. Anderson will boot it away.
And as they're going for an onside kick, possibly. Steele goes down on one knee. A wise bit of work by Anthony Steele. 6:11 to play in the first half here at Three Rivers. Steele waited a long time, Phil, to pick up that ball. I would have been having apoplexy on the sideline. Because as you know, it's a free ball. What they're doing right now, they're trying to limit the return. The ball takes a bounce. Steele chases it in the end zone. Now what he needs to do is let it go into the end zone. Now pick it up, Anthony, and they're out to the 20-yard line.
Now that brings this crowd to life here at Three Rivers. The Bills out of the I formation now from their own 20-yard line. Little misdirection. The give is to Cribs. He gets back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. Greg Carr, rookie out of Auburn.
The Steeler defense has to make something happen. They've got to get a turnover to get back completely in this game. Mike Merriweather, 57, is their best blitzer.
Oh, here is the familiar cry around Three Rivers Stadium for years. Defense. Mathison on 2nd and 10. Goes downfield. It is caught. take a hit from Donnie Shell. Burkett caught 5 passes last week against the New York Jets for over 100 yards.
Mathison now is going to go throw the ball in between coverage. Chris Burkett right on the sideline, 85. Burkett, number 85, is hit by Donnie Shell, but Dwayne Woodruff should have ran with him a little longer so that the quarterback couldn't have seen Burkett wide open between the corner and the strong safety.
Here comes Cribbs again. And again, the Steelers knock him down near the line of scrimmage. Cribbs possibly a gain of 1. Gary Dunn, the nose tackle, 9th year out of Miami on the tackle. Joe Cribbs, the second leading rusher in the history of the Buffalo Bills, behind the great O.J. Simpson. You saw his total there, 4,300 yards. He has got a ways to go to catch the juice. O.J., of course, way over 10,000 yards in Buffalo. Play action. Pass is intended for Jerry Butler. Oh, John Swain. A devastating hit. Knocks the ball free.
Mathison, play action pass, fake to Booker Moore. He's looking right into it now. He's going to lay the ball up to the outside. Now watch 26. Boom. He gets right in front of it. Now he's just a step away from catching that football and clapping his hands and going right into the end zone and making this a 21-14 game.
Steelers were looking for a situation substitution there. Were unable to get their players in. On 3rd down and 8, Mathison wants to unload. And instead, he is unloaded upon the pass intended for Greg Bell. David Little on the coverage, and the Bills will have to give it up.
The Steelers have come alive after that touchdown. And let's remember, Buffalo had a penalty, roughing the passer, which kept the drive alive. Now it's 21-7, 4 minutes and 42 seconds left to go. Lewis Lips is back there. Steelers have a chance right now to get right back on the board.
He lets it go. And it is out of bounds at the 29-yard line. The clock stops with 4 minutes and 34 seconds to play in the first half. Buffalo leading the Steelers 21-7. Don't forget, coming up next year on NBC Sports, it's the second half of our NFL doubleheader. The Seahawks still in the hunt for the AFC Western Division playoff race, heading into Los Angeles to take on the Raiders live from the Coliseum. But before we take you to the Coliseum at the conclusion of this ball game, we are 4 minutes and 34 seconds away from NFL 85 with Bob Costas. Scores and highlights from around the league, and whoa, there are some surprises. Scott Campbell looking deep, wants to throw, but he cannot escape the grasp of number 77, Ben Williams, or Freddie Smerlis. In his 10th year out of Ole Miss, some say Father Time is creeping up on the outstanding defensive end of the left side. Of course, Freddie Smerlis, he just keeps coming to the ballpark year in and year out. Smerlis in his 7th year out of Boston College. Cincinnati continuing to lead the Skins 24-7. San Francisco having trouble with New Orleans 7-3 second period. Cleveland over Houston 14-7. That game at Cleveland Stadium, where you can bet it is as cold there as it is here in Pittsburgh. Pollard. 25-yard line, he will not get much. Well, Noel told me yesterday, Sam, that he had a feeling the Steelers may have trouble running the ball inside.
Well, you pointed out at the beginning of the game, you have a good triangle. You have Smith, you have Williams, you have Smerlis at nose tackle, and those two good inside linebackers, Marv and Haslam. And I'm surprised they're trying to run inside so much. They should try to get outside, but they have to get the ball to the two key receivers, Lips and Stallworth.
3rd down and 14. Campbell, pocket collapsing, and Campbell's arm is hit just as he released the ball. Darryl Talley and Bruce Smith all over Scott Campbell.
is coming from the left. Campbell is looking upfield. He needs to throw for a first down. Now watch the pressure come from the left. Talley comes clean, but there's Smith, 78, getting his hand in, and that is as good as a sack because it's an incompleted pass, and Bruce Smith is continuing to put pressure on the quarterback.
Newsom, his third punt of the afternoon. Rod Hill back at his own 40. And a poor punt off the side of his foot. It's out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Now it is safe to say that Newsom is not endearing himself to Chuck Noll. That punt just 20 yards.
Watch Harry Newsom now. Concentration. Keep your eye on the ball. Good rhythm. Now, good contact. Hit the sweet spot, and as you can see, right there, he does not hit the sweet spot. It hits the side of his foot, and it bounces out on the Pittsburgh 45-yard line.
3 minutes and 13 seconds left to play. There you see the damages. Pittsburgh showing blitz, and here they come. Mathison now has to scramble out, delivers the football, throws it off his back foot, and gets absolutely nothing on it. Booker Moore, the intended receiver. But credit Mathison, Sam, with getting rid of the ball and not taking the sack.
So true. You're better off with an incompleted pass or a penalty as opposed to a sack. Because a sack means you lose yardage. And a penalty, at least you regain the down. So what he doesn't want to do right now is take sack. Get rid of the ball.
Mathison, 6 of 10 thus far in the ball game. Fibs to the right side, and I'll tell you, he is having absolutely no luck at all running in behind Vogler and Devlin, primarily because he's running into the teeth of this Cleveland defense. Gary Dunn, Keith Willis on the left side, David Little, Mike Merriweather also on the left side of that defense. It's been a tough afternoon for number 20 today. He has rushed the ball 4 times for 5 yards. 3 wide receivers now for the Bills on 3rd down and 9. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to play, first half. Mathison from the shotgun. He's got time. Is the ball fumbled? Wait just a moment. It is fumbled. The Steelers have recovered. And Mathison is all over Pat Haggerty. Gary Dunn with the hit. Boy, Mathison pleading his case with anybody who will listen.
You have to remember, if the arm is in motion, it is an incompleted pass. Let's look at it right here. Mathison in the shotgun in the middle of the screen. He's looking upfield right now. Let's watch his arm. His arm is back. He's ready to throw. He's going. He doesn't have any forward motion because the ball was knocked down, and it looks to me from this angle that it was a good call by Pat Haggerty.
First down, Steelers. Campbell rolls right. Now comes back against the green. Oh, Pollard had the football, and the screen was set.
He would have gone for a lot of yards. They had faked a sprint out to the offensive right, and Pollard just laid down in that screen. Let's take a look as we look at Bruce Mathison. Watch his arm now. Watch his arm. Watch his arm. It starts back, but number 92, Keith Gary, knocks the ball down, and I think it was a good call by the official.
Second down and 10 now from the 43. 2:14 to play first half. Campbell lets it go. In and out of the hands of Abercrombie. It is intercepted by Charles Rome. And nothing the Steelers are doing is going right. For Rome, that is his 6th interception. That equals a career high.
And that just comes from being around the ball. You have close coverage, and you're around the ball. If someone tips it or someone drops it, you're going to come up with your interception. Now, this is a first down throw by Scott Campbell. Right there, it's dropped by Abercrombie, and Charles Rhomes is around the ball. He makes his 6th interception of the year.
Now, Sam, I often refer to those as receiver interceptions. It's hard to charge your quarterback with that interception. Boy, the Steeler defense snaps the nation. Joe Cribbs is smashed by Mike Merriweather.
And that drop, Phil, was inside the 30-yard line. They would have had a first down and an opportunity to get on the scoreboard.
So we have arrived at the 2-minute warning. 1 minute and 58 seconds to play in the first half. The Steelers all over. I should say Buffalo all over the Steelers.
When the Browns battle the Jets. Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 85.
And Sam Rutigliano said at the outset of our telecast, when Pittsburgh holds on to the football, they win. When they cough it up, they lose ball games. Thus far today, the Steelers have coughed up the ball 3 times in the first half, and the Bills have turned 2 of them into touchdowns. Andre Reed had a touchdown. There's the draw. Cribbs. Ball popped loose. And the Steelers have covered it.
Is to take advantage of the turnover and score a touchdown, just as Buffalo has.
Gary Dunn with the hit on Cribbs. Then he tossed Cribbs out of the way and covered the leather.
Now watch Cribbs on a draw play. Watch Gary Dunn, number 67. Keep hustling, keep running, keep hustling, and you may get an interception. And Gary fields the ball beautifully, just like a center fielder, and they have the ball on the 37-yard line of Buffalo. The ball upfield.
Campbell. It is complete to Stallworth, or did it bounce in? It skipped in. No catch. It'll be 2nd and 10 now from the 37. In case you just joined us, David Woodley started the ball game for the Steelers. He was knocked out on the Steelers' first offensive series. On came Malone. He too knocked out with a head injury. Scott Campbell is the last watering hole. 2nd down and 10 now from the 37. Minute 42 to play in the first half from Gray River Stadium, where it is a brisk 22 degrees. Campbell with time. Now lets it go. In and out of the hands of the rookie tight end from Alabama, Preston Guthrie. Good coverage by Lucius Sanford. Sanford playing with an irritated back problem. Sanford.
They're down now to their 3rd quarterback, and I believe if Campbell were to get hurt, Malone would have to come back in the ball game because Woodley is out for the game. He was hurt with a left shoulder injury very early.
3rd down and 10 Steelers. Campbell would love to pick up 10 here. The ball, his hand was hit just as he released the football, and it is Bruce Smith, 2nd time today. He has deflected a pass at the line of scrimmage.
Bruce Smith has not sacked the quarterback, but he has caused a lot of harassment on the part of the quarterback. And there was another incompletion, and that is just as good as a sack on 3rd down.
Is in the ball game. Lips is there. Stallworth and Sweeney also in. 4th and 10.
They need to get the 10 yards per first down.
Campbell lets it go. It is off the 18-yard line.
Weezy Thompson. Weezy Thompson, number 87. Very, very important. First down throw inside the 19-yard line, and that's his 8th catch of 1985. Presence by Scott Campbell. He drops back. Now he does a good thing now. Steps up in the pocket. He's aware of where he's looking, but more importantly, he's aware of the line of scrimmage and an open receiver, and this can put Pittsburgh right back in the football game because it's 21-7 in favor of Buffalo.
Reggie Thompson certainly not having the year he had as a rookie, and because of that has lost a lot of playing time to Calvin Sweeney. This time they give it to Pollard. He smashes his way to the Buffalo 12-yard line. Eugene Marr, fourth year out of Saginaw Valley. And the clock will stop now with 1 minute and 16 seconds to play in the first half.
Pittsburgh has plenty of time. There's 1 minute and 16 seconds left to go. They have 2 timeouts. Chuck Noll is now talking to Campbell on the sideline. They're on the 12-yard line. What he needs to do right now, they have an opportunity to get their first down. Make sure that they utilize that timeout after the first down, and then they need to throw the football into the end zone 3 times, and then if they have to, kick the field goal.
You know, Chuck Noll had an interesting observation yesterday, Sam. I was talking with him about winning and losing. He said, you know, Phil, when you lose, everybody, all the critics are right. When you win, you're the only one that's right.
That's why some wise coach once said, if you lose, say nothing. If you win, say less. The only thing that's important about that is just win, baby. Just win, and you have no problems with anybody. The press, even your dog likes you.
There's a man right there, Hank Bulla, who has been concerned all year long with what he likes to refer to as that losing threshold. He told me a few weeks back, when our team gets down by a couple of touchdowns, I see the wind go out of our sails. Our balloon deflates. He said, we have got to become a team that when we're down by 14, it's got to make us mad. He said, the way it is this year, we tend to roll over.
The opposite has happened right now. They had a 21-0 lead, and Pittsburgh has a chance now, after the fumble by Cripps, to get right back in the game.
Campbell, he's going for it, and it is almost intercepted. Steve Freeman was right back there, had the ball in his sights and couldn't hold it.
It's 3rd down now. They have to come back with a first down. Campbell right now, it was an ill-fated throw. He should have never laid the ball up there like that. There was no clear opening on the part of Thompson, and that drop right there by the defensive back, number 22, Steve Freeman, actually cost Buffalo a possibility of 7 or 3 points.
The Bengals continuing to lead the Redskins at RFK Stadium by 10. That game now late in the second period. Campbell, the Pollard. He traces the Buffalo 5-yard line and is knocked down there.
Timeout.
For the Steelers, it'll be first down and goal with 1 minute to play in the first half. The Bills, winners only twice here in the 85 season, trying to make it 3 times and snuff out what slim hopes the Pittsburgh Steelers have of becoming a part of Pete Rozelle's 1986 playoff party.
Because Cincinnati right now is leading Washington, and Cleveland is leading Houston, and of course they both need to lose for Pittsburgh to be in the picture. But we said a lot of things today. The most important thing is for them to play for pride and uphold the fact that they're not going to have a losing season this year. Chuck Noll and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Now take a look at what is happening around the NFL. Of course, Bob Costas, Ahmad, and the Axe will be along in just 1 minute to update you on everything that has transpired thus far in this Week 15 of the 85 National Football League season. First down and goal, Pittsburgh at the Buffalo 4-yard line. They trail 21-7. Campbell is the quarterback. Inside handoff. There goes Pollard. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
It was a good call on the part of Chuck Noll. Everybody thought, obviously, they were going to pass the ball. But look, 65 Penny handled Smith. Smith thought it was going to be a pass. Bruce Smith was involved in rushing the passer. And the extra point was good. And now the score is 21-14. And that fumble by Joe Cribbs put Pittsburgh right back in the football game.
You know, the Steelers, Sam, have creased their opponent's 20-yard line 26 straight times, and they've come away with points all of those times.
It's very important anytime you get inside the 20-yard line that you come out with points, particularly when you have a field goal kicker like Gary Anderson. And the quarterback has a lot to do with that. He doesn't want to take sacks. He wants to make sure he doesn't throw interceptions, so you come out with points. When you do that, you're usually in the fourth quarter in the football game.
Boy, those 26 scoring plays, 11 touchdowns and 15 field goals in their last 26 trips inside the opponent's 20-yard line. Boy, that is really saying something. How in the world, with those kind of numbers, can you be 6 and 8? The answer, as Buffalo Bill fans know, turnovers. Little squib kick. It'll be handled. It is Anthony Steele at the 20-yard line. He's across the 30 and spun down there. Morse on the tackle. Steve Morse, the rookie running back out of Virginia. So it's 50 seconds to play. The Steelers trailing the Bills 21-14 in a game Buffalo led at one time 21-0. Dallas leading the Giants 21-14. To the right side. He's across the 32 near the 33. Robin Poole on the tackle.
Buffalo is going to go into the locker room with a 21-14 lead, and I think it's a good choice on the part of Hank Fuller, the coach.
Clock continuing to run. We are now at 26 seconds and counting. The day began, 18 of the 28 NFL teams still had a shot at the playoffs as Gribbs moves his way out near the 40-yard line. You know, only the Bears and the Rams, Sam, coming into today were assured of a playoff spot.
And it looks like, as you look at the scores right now, it's going to be that way in Week 16.
And the first half has expired, and the Buffalo Bills leading the Pittsburgh Steelers 21-14. It all began the first play from scrimmage from their own 23-yard line. It was Greg Bell going 77 yards. And that quieted things a great deal here at Three Rivers.
Well, at the top of the show, we said 26 turnovers.
Today they have 21. Sam, we've only played half a ball game.
That's right. We said two things at the beginning of this game. We said turnovers have hurt the Pittsburgh Steelers all year long. They had 8 losses, 26 turnovers. The same thing has happened in the first half. Hank Fuller said right before the game to me, they play hard, but that's not enough. They have to learn, Phil, how to win. They had a 21-0 lead. They had a 21-7 lead. They fumble the ball, and they have allowed Pittsburgh to get back in the game. And the game is full of SIWs. Self-inflicted wound on the part of both teams.
You talk about turnovers. We have seen 5 thus far in the first 30 minutes of play. The Steelers have coughed it up 3 times, the Bills twice. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, the problems continue to haunt this franchise. 2 of those 3 turnovers have resulted in touchdowns for the Bills. And, of course, that is the difference in this ball game right now. Without those 2 turnovers, it's the Steelers up by 7 points.
And that's right. Woodley was hurt first. Mark Malone was hurt. And now Campbell is in the game. And if you look at the stats, the yards passing on the part of the Steelers and the Bills are the most surprising, but the yards rushing on the part of the Bills, and of course the 77-yard run by Greg Bell was the big running play of the first half.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers, as Sam and I talked at the top of our telecast, they must win, not only today, but they need to win next week's finale. But it doesn't make any difference whether they win if Cleveland or Cincinnati wins today, Sam.
Well, it does make a difference to the franchise and Chuck Noll. They just don't want to have a losing season. And I think that's important because they know right now they don't have to rebuild here at Pittsburgh. They just have to reload.
Well put. You know, you talk about this Pittsburgh Steeler franchise. This is a ball club so rich in history, so rich in tradition. Earlier this week, a lot of former Steelers from the great teams of the late 70s have been very critical of the Steelers of 1985. I remember a couple of guys said, this team is too soft, too cheesy. They don't play hard enough. Mel Blount came out this week and said, we never helped anybody up. When we knocked guys off their feet, they had to get up themselves. Do you share that philosophy? You played against this franchise for years. They were tough during the 70s.
Well, the problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers is they're a different team. And they're a different team because of people. But I don't believe any ex-player who's not walking in the moccasins of the present players has the right now to make those kind of remarks.
What makes the Steelers so tough to beat year in and year out? Of course, you look at this year and last year, they were not unbeatable, but in years past, they just an incredible football team.
Two things. They had rushmen who were able to put pressure on the quarterback, and they had Terry Bradshaw, who's destined for the Hall of Fame. When you have those two things, and if you watch the playoffs very carefully, rushing the passer and having a quarterback who can win for you are two very, very important elements towards winning.
Scott Campbell, of course, came on late in the first period to take David Woodley and Mark Malone's place. Both Woodley and Malone leaving via the injury route in the first 15 minutes of play. And Campbell has come on, attempted 17 passes, completed 7. He led the Steelers on both of their touchdown drives. And quite frankly, Scott Campbell said, just give me an opportunity. I'll show you what I can do. He doesn't feel that 3 weeks ago in his only start of the season against the Washington Redskins that it's fair to judge a quarterback by one game. And I suppose as a head coach, you would certainly go along with Scott Campbell's philosophy.
Well, I would agree with that. Now, he's had the first half. He had an opportunity to get himself back into the game. Now he's in the flow and the rhythm of the game. I look for the second half now for Pittsburgh to continue to run the ball with Pollard and Abercrombie, but for Scott Campbell to utilize Lips and Stallworth.
Now the first half began with a bang. First play of the game, watch number 28.
Greg Bell now bounces to the outside, but he's going to get a good block by his two outside receivers, number 83, Burkett, and there's Jerry Butler getting it so that he springs it for a touchdown instead of a first down.
Well, and then problems for the Steelers. Woodley is crushed, and he did not stay on the ball game.
And now Malone is dropping back to pass after Woodley was hurt, and Bruce Smith is coming in from the right side.
A little booted away for the Bills. Back deep for the Steelers. Todd Spencer and Lewis Lips. And I believe it's going to be Spencer at the 15-yard line. He is grabbed by number 58, Anthony Dickerson, and knocked off his feet at the 25. Well, Sam, this is the time of the year when, as a head coach, you don't need to say much in the locker room if you're a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. This ball club knows what it has to do here in the second half.
No question about it, and Chuck Noll is the coach when he was winning, and now when he's losing, he's been the same. He's a person now that relies on the players to understand exactly what their roles are and what they need to do. And that is to provide another non-losing season for the Steelers.
Abercrombie bounces to the outside, now tries to turn it back up across the 40-yard line, and he is knocked down at the 42 by Don Wilson. Was a sellout before today's ball game, but as you can plainly see, many no-shows here in Pittsburgh. Game began 22-degree temperatures, -9 wind chill, and now that wind chill has dropped it to -11 down on the playing field. Play action, Campbell to put it up. It is caught and it dropped by Stallworth. Well, John has had 2 passes today that have bounced in and out of his hands. Charles Romes, good coverage.
That ball was thrown a little bit to the inside of Stallworth, and it was a poor throw on the part of Campbell because Stallworth was clearly open for a first down on the Buffalo 40-yard line. Campbell still has not thrown the ball accurately.
Take a look at John Stallworth, 59 career touchdowns. Stallworth now in his 12th season. He's got 1 touchdown today, and Wilson with a roll block takes him down and out at the 47. He'll be shot shy of the first down, make it 3rd down and about 4. Now, we told you, Cincinnati and Cleveland must lose if the Steelers are to stay alive. And right now in the 3rd period, the Browns out in front of Houston 21-7. Kozar has thrown for a couple of touchdowns and run for 1. Here in Pittsburgh, the Steelers cannot be concerned what the Browns or Bengals are doing. They got to be concerned with what they aren't doing. And right now, they're not beating the Bills. It's got to fight in Gothard. He is out of bounds at the Bills' 37-yard line. Lucius Sanford bumps him.
The same situation that we had before, Phil, only Campbell did not throw a good pass. Gothard was being covered by a linebacker, and anytime you get a tight end on a linebacker, you should be able to throw for a first down, as they just did. Now it's first down on the Buffalo 37-yard line with the score 21-14 in favor of Buffalo.
Play action, Campbell. He wants Litz from the stop and go. Litz is open for a moment, and it is almost intercepted. Terrific coverage by Steve Freeman. He has knocked 2 passes down in the end zone.
They were double covered. They were double covering Louis Litz. Lawrence Johnson was up short. You see on the bottom of your screen, number 48. He's going to take him for a few yards. Litz is going to stop and now go through. But as he goes through, that's Freeman's job right now to support Johnson, and he's right there to knock the ball down.
Well, that is just a great replay of how zone coverage is supposed to work.
And that's double coverage in the zone, and Freeman goes up and almost makes an interception.
Inside handoff, Abercrombie. He goes to the left side. There's a little trap that the Steelers did not think would work very effectively today. Again, Freeman on the tackle. Boy, Steve Freeman playing a whale of a game at his strong safety spot for the Bills. You know, Sam, we have talked about the Steelers and their problems with turnovers. For the Buffalo Bills here in '85, it has been the problem with the big play. Every week, Sunday in and Sunday out. Look at last Sunday. O'Brien to, I believe it was Wesley Walker, 96 yards. Previous weeks, Irving Fryer beat him with the big play. Mike Quick, Charlie Joyner. Campbell. How did he get out of there?
And he got a first down. From the outside, but you better have somebody inside if the quarterback steps up in the pocket. And there he is, steps right up in the pocket. Campbell 10 now. Now what he's doing is making sure of where that first down marker is, and he finds it for a key first down, and Tally 56 makes the tackle.
Campbell doing it with mirrors on that play. Now at the 25-yard line, it is 1st and 10 Pittsburgh. Out of the pro formation, that's Abercrombie in motion. Campbell to Abercrombie. Catch by Walter Abercrombie. Oh, what a catch as he takes a shot.
Don Wilson, the free safety, I believe, is down. He came over to support that catch by Abercrombie.
Well, the clock stops while the Bills medical staff is out. We'll be back in a moment. Wilson, the injured Bill, walked off the field under his own power, but I don't know how. Boy, he and Abercrombie. Somebody once said this is not a contact sport, Sam. This is a collision sport.
It was a good hit because any other receiver right now would have been disengaged from the ball. Campbell throws the ball up. Abercrombie reaches out with his left hand. There's a hit right there. And the miracle of this play is Abercrombie holding on to the football.
First and goal from the 8 for the Steelers. That is Pollard. He is nailed at the line of scrimmage. Dives ahead for a yard, maybe 2. Lucius Sanford on the tackle. Pollard has 1 touchdown today. Louis Litz has the other for Pittsburgh.
Today's game is brought to you by New Chrysler Corporation. We don't want to be the biggest. We just want to be the best. By RCA, creators of video technology that excites the senses. And by Coors and Coors Light, beers with a difference worth tasting.
Bill Stone with Sam Rutigliano, 10:32 to play, third period. Campbell looking, now unloads, and it is almost caught by Benny Cunningham. That great effort could quite easily have turned into catastrophe because there were 3 Bill defenders hanging around.
And that's what young, inexperienced quarterbacks do. For the lead now. Don't throw the ball up for grabs. Come back. You see Benny Cunningham going up. It's bouncing around right now, and it very easily could have been intercepted. Protect your lead. Come back for third down, and make sure you have an opportunity for Gary Anderson to come in there and at least kick a field goal.
Steelers have thus far in this ballgame rushed for 114 yards. Abercrombie with 53. Pollard with 61. Campbell puts it up. That's Sweeney out of the backfield. He is nailed at the 10-yard line. Rod Hill, terrific coverage on Calvin Sweeney.
They tried to drive Lips and Stallworth deep, get the ball to Sweeney, but there's the 5th nickel back, Rod Hill, making the play right there. It was a gamble on the part of Pittsburgh because they thought possibly a linebacker would be dropping to support Stallworth and Lips, and 25 Hill was right on the mark and tackled Sweeney. And now we have the field goal try.
Hits the left upright and bounced through. Gary Anderson, whose 18 field goal streak came to an end earlier today, is now 1 for 2. College basketball back on NBC this year. Georgetown Hoyas and the DePaul Blue Demons next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. And what a game that one is going to be. Set to go as Anderson kicks it away. A little nubber. Short hop by Anthony Steele at the 10-yard line. Across the 25. Takes it to the outside. Oh, look out. He's across the 43 to the 44 and bounced out by John Swain. As we have told you throughout today's telecast, it is very cold. The chill factor minus 11 degrees. You know, Sam, it is difficult enough to televise a football game in ideal conditions, but take a look at our NBC camera crew here in Pittsburgh. It has been a job well done, gentlemen. They got here on Friday, began setting up in the frigid weather yesterday, and have been here since about 7 o'clock this morning. It is a job well done. Our producer, Len Adamo, our director, NBC's Rodney Dangerfield, Bob Levy. Gentlemen, a job well done, and we appreciate it. Bell puffs up the ball. And Andre Reed, the rookie out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania, covers it. Bell Reed, what a contribution he has made when the Buffalo Bills pack away the 85 season and look for the bright spots. Number 83 will be one.
There's a missed tackle by Keith Gary. There's 22, Rick Woods. The ball gets bounced out, and they dodge a giant bullet right there as Andre Reed recovered the fumble.
Buffalo leads it 21-17 with 8:54 to play in the third period. Mathison to put it up. How did he get that ball in there? Eric Richardson out of San Jose State, the receiver, but he put that between 2 black jerseys.
This is an outstanding throw on the part of Mathison. Now, Cribbs is a decoy on the outside, and there's Richardson is on 91 on the linebacker, and he threaded the needle. He actually threw the ball right through a pipe, and he was covered by Greg Carr, who has replaced Ryan Hinkle.
That's only Richardson's 10th catch all year. Bell puffs it up again. This time it's picked up by the Steelers, and Pittsburgh loses the ball, and somebody else covers it. Keith Gary picked it up first. He dropped it. I believe Lavin Cole came up with it. He did. Cole and his right here out of New Mexico. Third turnover by the Bills today.
Protect the ball. Protect the ball. Break to the inside now, but you can see he never had control of the ball. And Greg Bell, who fumbled early in this series, now fumbled, and Pittsburgh has the ball on their own 39-yard line.
There's the story of the turnovers. Both these teams, really, that's indicative of the season both teams have had. Turnovers, and more miscues. A flag is down. Another one sails in at the 42-yard line. Abercrombie, the ball carrier. Steve Freeman on the tackle. Boy, take a look at these guys. Are you kidding me? Minus 11 degrees chill factor. Oh, man. I'll tell you what.
I hope they got to their favorite car dealer and got a checkup.
I'll tell you what. That is not hot chocolate in those cups. 8:05 to play, third period. The Steelers down by 4. 21-17. At one point, they trailed 21-0. Tipped at the line by Darryl Talley, intended for Lewis Lips. Sam, while we have just a moment, if I might take just a moment to recognize the passing of one of baseball's greats. I'm talking about Roger Maris, the great number 9 with the New York Yankees, passed away yesterday in a hospital in Houston, Texas, of cancer. And I know I speak for baseball fans all across America. He provided us all with so many thrills as youngsters. And we will sadly miss number 9, Roger Maris.
And leaping ability, and Lawrence Johnson, number 48, did not turn back to look at the ball. Now watch him add yards on, because he can run and catch the football, and probably one of the premier receiver in the game today.
Campbell drops the snap, and Lucius Sanford drops Campbell in a hurry. Clock running, 7:09 to play. Now it stops. It'll be second down and 13. This telecast is presented by authority of the NFL. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the National Football League is prohibited.
That first quarter missed field goal on the part of Anderson right now looms big. Sanford came into the ball game today starting the right-hand side. He has 2 sacks today, which equals his season total of 2. So now it is third down and a whole lot. 3rd and 13. This Bills defense has allowed opponents to convert 44% of third down opportunities. Coming up next, Seattle and the Raiders here on NBC, the second half of our doubleheader. But right now, we're midway through the third period with the Buffalo Bills leading the Steelers 21-17. Campbell wants to unload, now does so. Poorly thrown pass. A flag is down way back at the 37-yard line. Pass was intended for Preston Gothard. That's the area normally reserved for offensive holding. Let's listen. Things over now with Jim Haslett. So take the ball now back outside the 36-yard line. Thompson has gone into the ball game. Calvin Sweeney is heading for the sideline. That was an interesting decision because what they try to do right now is take them out of field goal range.
Look at the Redskins. They are coming back against the Bengals. Tampa Bay over Indianapolis 23-17. Third down and 26. Campbell steps up. Now lets it fly. Forward got the football at the 13-yard line. Now you've got a decision. Sam, would you like to make this one? It is fourth down now and 4. Do you go for the field goal or do you go for it?
I would go for the field goal, which would only put you 1 point down, but Chuck Noll is going for the first down, and now you have to question the call made by Hank Fuller.
The call that Sam is talking about, Fuller had a chance to pin the Steelers with a fourth down and 8, which would certainly have brought on Gary Anderson for the three-point try. Fourth down and 4 from the 14. Will go against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tunch Ilkin stood up. Now the officials trying to get the players clear so they can talk things over.
The offensive man moved quickly. We're having a major conference, and there's Tunch Ilkin, the tackle, who looked to have moved early. Tunch Ilkin looked to have moved a little too early.
We will disregard the flag. Number 62 is ineligible in, and he is allowed to reset again.
62 is an eligible receiver, so he is allowed to reset again. If he were an interior lineman, he would not have the ability to do that.
But he is an interior lineman.
He reported as an eligible receiver, 62, and he can move, and that was the call by the official, Pat Haggerty.
Now, whatever the verdict is, Chuck Noll is not very happy with it. Obviously, Chuck knows something we do not know. I'd be ecstatic about that.
He wants the penalty against Buffalo so that Pittsburgh would have a first down. It looks like they're going to repeat the play. Anderson's coming in right now. They're going to repeat the play, but this time Chuck Noll is going to go for the field goal. And I think that's a good choice because now they would be down 21-20 if he makes it. And we said earlier, he missed the chip shot field goal of 41 yards. Chip shot for Gary Anderson in the first quarter.
Anderson 1 of 2 today. He is 22 in his last 24 attempts. The NFL's leading scorer has just added another three-pointer. So the clock stops with 5:14 to play in the third period. We got a 1-point ball game.
Bernie Kosar, who ran for a touchdown earlier, now throws a 5-yard touchdown pass to Kevin Mack. Cleveland, who can control their own playoff destiny by winning, leads 28-7 in the third quarter. Phil?
Well, Ahmad, that is great news for Browns fans, but horrible news for Steeler fans. First down from the 25. Mathison wants to put it up. He's got Bell. Little swing pass, and Bell takes it across the 27 out near the 28. He ran right out of the grasp of Dwayne Woodruff. Dwayne Woodruff. Sam said earlier this week that, last year we planted the seed. We were a playoff team. We won our division. This year, for some reason, we forgot to water that seed. We have not improved. He says we have basically the same team we had a year ago, but we've just not nurtured this ball club.
One of the problems there has been the inconsistency at quarterback, which troubles any team that's looking to make it in the playoffs.
Mathison, there's the roll to the right side. He throws, and it's intercepted by the Steelers. Woodruff got it. And he is thrown down by Will Grant, but the Steelers take Buffalo's fourth turnover of the ball game back to the Bills' 41-yard line.
Mathison now is rolling out to get some protection. He has the protection. He waits down. He just throws the ball without being aware of the defender. 49 Woodruff makes a nice catch. Now he's going to skirt back to the outside. Now, there's a good block right there. They have the ball, and what we're looking at right now is an interception, but the Joe Cribbs put this game at 21-20. The Joe Cribbs fumble.
Pollard trying to skirt the left side, cannot get around. Lucius Sanford and Jimmy Haslett. Now there are the turnovers. There have been 7. That turnover that Sam was talking about by Joe Cribbs happened right here.
And Joe now is bounced. He gets hit and the ball bounces up, and there's Gary Dunn right there, and that gave him good field position. That led for touchdown, and then Greg Bell fumbled, which puts the score at 21-20 after the Steelers kicked the field goal.
Second down and 10. Play action, Campbell to put it up again. Got Abercrombie running free, and he's intercepted by Charles Rose at the 18-yard line, and he is tackled from behind by Lewis Lips. Boy, a turnover-filled football game. 4th turnover by the Steelers now.
And the reason for that is 2 young quarterbacks. Mathison for Buffalo and Campbell for Pittsburgh, and they're not able to utilize all the other tools.
Clock stops with 3 minutes and 51 seconds to play, 3rd period. Sam, there are coaches around the NFL who believe there are no more important statistics than turnovers, and that would certainly play in this ball game.
Well, if you look at any game, that's the one statistic that really helps the good defensive team that causes them, and of course, the difference between winning and losing.
Mathison puts it up
right there.
And there's a Bobby Shell. He'll be called down at the 34-yard line where he picked it off. You don't think Donnie Shell wants this ball game? Shell is the leading active interceptor in the National Football League. Dave Brown of the Seahawks 2 behind.
Mathison threw right in to double coverage. He was looking to go deep, but he threw right into double coverage, and there's Donnie Shell. Watch Mathison right now. He's got a play-action pass. He just lays the ball up deep, not aware of the defensive back being doubled. You can see right now, number 86 from the Bills, Jimmy Teal, was being doubled.
Lewis Lips is knocked out of bounds at the 43-yard line by Steve Freeman. The flag is down at the 35-yard line. Incidentally, that pass interception by Donnie Shell, the Steelers' 2nd interception of the day. Woodruff got the first one. Hot Lips, number 83, Lewis Lips. How do you figure this guy? Coming out of southern Mississippi, Sam, this guy did not set his college afire. The 84 Senior Bowl game, he had an average ball game, yet look what he has done in the NFL.
Well, the draft is important, but in a lot of cases, Bill, you're rolling the dice.
Well, you scouted him when you were at Cleveland. You were not impressed, overly impressed, were you?
I didn't think that he would do this well, and to his credit, he is an outstanding receiver.
Pollard's got it. Little swing pass across the 40, up to the 44-yard line, knocked down there. Don Wilson on the tackle. A 16-yard pickup for Frank Pollard.
And he ran right through the hands of Steve Freeman, the strong safety, for the first down.
Dives ahead for maybe a couple. Jim Haslett on the stop. Clock running, 2:44 to play here in the 3rd period at Three Rivers Stadium. Now the crowd today, the smallest in the history of Three Rivers Stadium, 35,953. And boy, that's the smallest by a bunch. The previous low here at Three Rivers, 51,796. But I tell you,
It's very cold, and the loss against San Diego on Sunday night took the starch out of a lot of fans.
Campbell, looking left, throws left. Intended for Stallworth. Stops the clock with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to play. But now it's 3rd down and 8 from the 47. What's interesting is, as I said early in this ball game, I would be surprised if the public address announcer here at Three Rivers divulged the score of the Cincinnati and Cleveland game during the course of this game. And he has not. There's been no mention of either of those 2 ball games. So we will continue to update you folks at home as to how those 2 games are going. Campbell unloads, going for Lips. It is Stallworth. Lips will have the outside pattern. Stallworth running what I call the numbers route, right down the numbers. Well, that's a tall task, putting Lips and Stallworth on the same side of the field, Sam.
Buffalo is doing the right thing right now. They're putting a lot of on Scott Campbell. And he's having to get rid of the ball too quickly, or else he's moving around the pocket and losing sight of Lips and Stallworth.
Blocked. Bellinger had a shot at one in the first period. He almost got one there. That's Ron Hill. And he takes it out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Dougal ran him out. So the Bills will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. Don't forget, coming up next here on NBC, the second half of our doubleheader. We'll be taking you west to the Coliseum, to be exact, in the city of Angels, Los Angeles, California. It's the Raiders and the Seahawks. We talk about a team needing to win. How about those Hawks? Chuck Knox and company have got to find a way to beat Los Angeles today. First and 10 Bills. That's Bell. Running rather tentatively to the 23-yard line. Greg Carr, the rookie out of Auburn, on the tackle. Let's update you on what's happening around the NFL. Dallas continuing to lead the Giants 21-14. That game now in the 4th period. That one's tightening up. Cincinnati once led big at Washington. Now the Skins within 4. New Orleans by 2 over San Francisco in the 4th. Cleveland laying it on Houston. 2nd down and 7. There goes Bell out to the 28-yard line, and a flag sails in. Keith Willis on the stop.
Indianapolis head of Tampa Bay 24-23. Atlanta.
There's a ball game. Detroit undefeated at home by 1 over the Packers in the 4th period. Here in the 3rd quarter at Three Rivers, it's Buffalo by a single digit over the Steelers 21-20. The Steelers have not sacked an opposing quarterback, Sam, in their last 3+ ball games. They have not gotten to Bruce Mathison yet today. Mathison pumped once. Now he's going for it. But the pass intended for Andre Reed, and he never knew the ball was coming.
You got to roughing the passer
in the end zone.
Roughing the passer. 93, Keith Willis. First down, Buffalo.
Willis has got his helmet off. He wants to have a word with Pat Haggerty.
Andre Reed is being covered from the outside. Donnie Shell is up, and Mathison threw that ball away.
Roughing the passer, number 93. First down.
An automatic first down for the Bills.
It would have been 3rd down and 18 for Buffalo. Mathison looks like he's hurting a little bit in the huddle right now, holding on to his right wrist. Oh, no, he's not. He's reading the plays.
Got those plays taped onto his left wrist.
I hope it's a good one.
First down now at the 28-yard line. 50 seconds to play. 3rd period action from Three Rivers. Bell finds an opening. Slices through it to the 33. Rick Woods on the stop.
Ramson, the tight end, is hurt. Looks like he has a groin pull, and he's being replaced.
So Ramson is out. Metzelaar, number 88, is checked in. They are inside 18 seconds. Ramson. It is unlikely we will see him return to the ball game. Got it. Screen sets up nicely. He crosses the 41. He has a first down before David Little knocks him out. That is the final play of the third period. At the end of 3, it's 21-20 Bills. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. The Buffalo Bills got the first 21 points of this ball game, Sam. The Steelers have gotten the last 20.
Right now, what we're looking at is a very important stat. Bills have 145 yards rushing. Steelers have 152. Both teams are going to try to run the ball in the fourth quarter because both young quarterbacks are hurting their offense.
Mathison on first down. That is Anthony Steele, his second carry from scrimmage today. He is just thrown to the carpet by Robin Cole. Cole says, I don't know what the big deal is. That's how they teach it.
Was an outside linebacker, went to the Pro Bowl last year. They moved him to inside. He's looking for the signal on the sideline. Big, he's strong, and he can run. He can make big plays, as evidenced by the one that he just made.
Yeah, they moved him to the inside because of the superb play of Brian Hinkle, who was out today with a dislocated elbow. Out of the I formation, now Buffalo. Play action. Mathison to put it up. Got a receiver wide open. And it is no catch. Eric Richardson had the football, but John Swain hasted him right in front of the Buffalo bench. Now for the Buffalo Bills, 2 victories, 12 losses as they came into Three River Stadium today. And Hank Bulla has to be looking ahead to 1986. And this ball club has not won on the road since 1983. It was a victory at Kansas City. Since then, 15 straight losses away from Orchard Park. A shotgun on 3rd and 11. Mathison now running for his life. Spins his way and will be close to a first down. Very, very close. I believe, Sam, as if he'll be about a half a yard shy.
He's going to be short by less than a yard. I don't think it's time with 13 minutes to go and 50 seconds for a Hank Bulla to gamble. Because a field goal by Pittsburgh will put them ahead. And if they give up the ball right now, if Buffalo does not make this fourth down try, there's Bulla talking about it on the sideline. Pittsburgh will get excellent field position, and they're taking a lot of time, and it looks like Buffalo may be going for it after the measurement.
Bulla wants to see how much they have to pick up. Oh, it's only going to be about 8 inches. I got to believe Bulla's going to go.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to go for it.
Feeling is right now, what do you have to lose? You're not going to the playoffs. Let's try and derail the Steelers. And there was no question at all.
And it'll be a very wise decision if they pick it up. If they don't, it will not be a very wise decision.
I will keep our eyes on number 78, Bruce Smith. He is in the ball game. He carried the ball once last week against the Jets and did not pick up a first down. Number 78. He is right behind Mathison. Will he lead the way or will he get the football? Cribbs. He goes in behind Smith and Cribbs has the first down. So the Bills taking a play out of Mike Ditka's playbook.
If the hole was big enough for Smith to get through, then Joe Cribbs could make it also for the first down. Let's take a look from the I formation. Watch 78. Wham, bam, and Joe Cribbs is right in there for the first down as the refrigerator knocks Dirk Winston, the linebacker, number 55, out of the hole.
First down, Buffalo at the Pittsburgh 46. The pitch is to Bell. Steelers everywhere. Keith Gary, the man who strung it out, and he got help from Greg Carr. 12:37 to play on our ball game. The Bills leading the Steelers 21-20. And the question at this point, Sam, is what in the world do the Bills have to gain by winning this game? And what do they have to lose by winning it?
Well, winning the game is pride. And that's all that really matters right now. Hank Fuller, who took over this team during the course of this season. Pride. And that means a great deal to the organization.
I want to get back, though, to what they have to gain by losing it in a moment. Mathison on 2nd and 12. Sideline pattern. He has got a man. And it is Eric Richardson, his second reception of the afternoon. It's a first down at the 31. Let me get back to that point about losing the ball game. Should Buffalo lose, they would certainly keep that shot at the number 1 pick in the draft alive.
Well, they're not going to get the number 1 pick because of the number 1 that they gave up and picked Darris Burroughs for Bernie Kosar. So there's only going to be 27 number 1 picks next year.
Good point. Excellent point. First down at the 31. That's Bell. Wanted to go inside. Woodley forced them outside. And Dwayne knocks him to the playing surface. The 30-yard line, no gain. It'll be third down. And call it 9. Check that, second down at 9. 11 minutes and 35 seconds to play. Big ball game tomorrow. Of course, if you were looking for the New England-Miami score, that is tomorrow night. Sam, you and I will be in New England next Sunday for Week 16.
Against Cincinnati, and it'll be another big game as we close out the regular season.
Mathison, that is Steers, still on his feet. Across the 20. Steers carries it to the 8-yard line, and he was nailed at the line of scrimmage. I believe it was Gary Dunn that had him lassoed.
And that missed tackle may loom very big in the fourth quarter. And let's take a look at it. It's a draw play to Anthony Steers. He bounces to the outside, and it was number 50, David Little, the linebacker, and usually an excellent tackler. And now the Bills have a first down inside the 10-yard line, and that was a 22-yard run. It should have been a negative play.
First and goal, Buffalo. Bell to the 5. David Little on the tackle. Second down and goal from the 5. And a week ago at Rich Stadium, the Bills had the ball inside the Jets' 10-yard line on 4 separate occasions, Sam, and only came away with a touchdown.
The important thing about this drive right now is to make sure that you have the opportunity to kick the field goal and to put your 4 points up. And Pittsburgh now has to have a touchdown to go ahead.
The eye on second and goal from the 5. Here comes Greg Bell again, and he'll be dropped for a loss. Keith Willis, the 4th-year left end out of Northeastern.
To the outside. Now the tight end, Metzellaris, makes a good block. Now there's the important block right there, but Bell bounces to the outside, but Keith Willis comes off the block by number 70, Joe Devlin, and makes the play in the backfield. Big play right now, Phil. Third down. Field goal or touchdown.
Mathison. Throws it out of bounds, and wisely so.
To protect for the field goal. That was a good series by the Steelers. Because Buffalo on a touchdown now would put them 8 ahead. Reed's coming to the outside. Apparently, he's the receiver. Let's watch his feet now as he's on Woodruff. He looks like he's open right now, but Woodruff is closing to the inside. But he trips and he loses his balance. Hesitation right now, and Mathison does the wise thing. Throw it out of bounds. Let's kick the field goal and go up by 4.
Scott Norwood. He is perfect. Norwood had not made a field goal since week 10 when he was 2 for 2 against the Oilers. Today, that's his first attempt, and it has given the Bills a 24-20 lead with 8:53 to play.
Today's game is brought to you by Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, phone your nearest BMW dealer. And by Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Now, Santa is one of the 35,953 who showed up for today's game. Short kick by Norwood. Steelers will try and cover it before it goes out of bounds. The flag flies before Lewis Lips can get to it, and the Bills will kick it again. So while the clock is stopped with 8:47 to play, let's go to this NFL update with Ahmad.
All right, Phil, in Washington, the Redskins trying to come back gets this touchdown call back because of pushing off by tight end Clint Didier. So they line up for the field goal, and Mark Mosley misses it. The Redskins still trail 24-20 in the third quarter.
All right, Ahmad, we thank you for that update. Here at Three Rivers, the situation is this. 8:47 to play in the ball game. Buffalo, with a field goal a moment ago from Scott Norwood, lead the Steelers 24-20. The Bills have never trailed. Now there's a summit going on in that huddle at the 30-yard line.
This is that final 10 minutes that Hank Buller talked about, that you have to play like winners. They have a 24-20 lead. 8 minutes and 4 seconds to go. He said in the final 10 minutes is where all the communication between he and his squad has fallen, because they just don't understand what winning is all about.
Well, we're set to go again. Norwood will let it sail. It's picked up at the 32-yard line. Brought back about 8 yards. Tuggle with the return. Anthony Tuggle, the rookie out of Nichols State, who was just picked up this week. So the Steelers have it at their own 40-yard line. And Scott Campbell, who came on in the first period to replace Woodley and Malone, will try and bring the Steelers a victory here with 8 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the ball game. Down he goes. Sean McNanny, second year out of San Diego State, his third sack of the year. I believe Hank Buller is going to find a way to get number 95 into the ball game.
See, it's a play-action pass to Sean McNanny now comes clear, and the problem is Tunchenko on the top of the screen. He doesn't see him, and apparently he should have blocked him, but the play-action took Campbell's vision away from the rush, and of course, McNanny was right there to make the sack. Has been an outstanding pass rusher for the Bills all year.
Abercrombie's got it on his feet across the 42-yard line and out of bounds. That stops the clock with 8:05 to play in the ball game. Sam, it is no longer legal in the National Football League to bump a receiver more than 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Would you like to see defenders able to bump receivers anywhere on the field? Would you like to see a rule back as it is in college?
That rule was changed in 1978. It had a tremendous impact on the defense. I think defenders should have the ability to do that.
I would agree wholeheartedly. Plus, there are some residual effects from that rule that I'll ask you about in a moment. 8:05 to play in the ball game. Third down and 8. That's covered. Stafford tackles him. One of the residual effects of that bump and run rule is if you allow the receivers to run free, it seems to me that you could rotate your zones a little bit deeper downfield.
The biggest thing that it did with the offensive lineman change, it helped the scoring because it helped the offense put a lot of pressure on the defense.
There's the draw. Abercrombie's got it. He's going to the 33-yard line of Buffalo.
This is a draw play by Abercrombie. He steps to the inside. Now watch him. Watch the vision now. He's looking for the opening. He bangs into his own man. He finds it back to the inside. And this is what good backs do. He apparently had a 2 or 3 yard gain, but he watched, he used his eyes, and he got a first down.
Abercrombie 12 carries for 68 yards. Pollard tries the right side in behind Terry Long.
And you see what's happening in the fourth quarter, Phil. Both coaches want to take the pressure off their young quarterback, and the best way to do that is get involved in establishing a running game.
6 minutes and 19 seconds to play in the ball game. It's the Bills 24, Pittsburgh 20.
Get the ball to Stallworth or Letts to get that first down. They need a touchdown to go ahead.
That's Abercrombie in motion on 2nd and 10. Campbell to put it up. It's complete to Sweeney, and Sweeney is knocked out at the 27-yard line by Don Wilson.
Preston Goffin, the tight end, number 86, who hasn't caught very many passes this year. In this game, he might have caught more than he did in the first 14.
Look at Preston Gothard's number, the rookie out of Alabama.
3 receptions, 34 yards today.
And that equals his season high coming in. He had 3 catches coming into the ball game.
Big third down play right now. They've got to pick it up if they're going to go ahead. And there it is.
Stallworth had the ball.
And a first down.
Picked it up.
Stallworth had the ball and a first down.
Third pass today that John Stallworth has dropped. I can't believe I'm seeing this.
He just goes just far enough, right in the middle of your screen, get the first down, catch the ball right between the 8 and the 2, and you can see it went right through his hands, and that means he did not concentrate. He was too quick to want to turn and run. But they have to go for it.
4th down and 4 from the Buffalo 28. The Steelers down by 4.
They're coming with an all-out blitz.
That's a fumble. Campbell picks it back up, and now he unloads. It's
why coaches lose their hair. Look at him. He's running away from it. The ball is knocked loose. It should be Buffalo's ball right now. He picks it right back up. He throws the ball to Frank Pollard. Now he's going to take it and run. And you've got to give the second-year quarterback a lot of credit because that was a big play. And believe me, that is not in the Pittsburgh playbook.
down and 10 at the 11-yard line. Abercrombie, is he stuffed at the 12. You know, Sam, I remember a play like that 2 years ago, the Oilers and the Eagles. It was the final game of the 83 season at Veterans Stadium. Archie Manning, quarterbacking the Oilers, had an almost identical play where the ball was knocked around, battered around. He picked it up and lofted about a 30-yard pass.
Anthony Dickinson was right in there. They should have been able to take that ball, and virtually that play is going to turn this game around, providing the Steelers get a touchdown and go ahead. And that's what Fuller talked about to me this morning. They just don't know how to win.
pressure. He fumbles the football. Or did he? Wait a minute.
He's in the grass. They're going to call it in the grass. And it'll be the Steelers' ball, I believe.
Hold on a minute. I believe they're going to call him down. It is the Steelers' ball. They will retain possession. That is exactly the call. Sam Rutigliano is exactly right. But now it is third down.
They need to go to the 1-yard line for a first down.
3rd and 27. Campbell. He's going for it all. Lewis Litz. It would have been the catch of his life had he come down with it.
Just the fact that he made it close tells you what kind of a receiver he is. Watch Lewis Lips, number 83. He's being double covered. Now he's going to try to find a spot in the end zone. Campbell has some time. Rome's 26 is right in front of him. Now watch Lips go up for the ball. Up for the ball, one hand, almost with two hands. And the reason he dropped it was because of Romes was right in front of it. Watch him go up and almost makes the catch. And, of course, Romes being in front hurt him. And now we're going to have an attempted field goal try by Gary Anderson. And it looks long enough. Looks good.
For Gary Anderson, his second field goal of the afternoon. This one coming from 45 yards away. Oh, what a ball game we have. 4 minutes and 28 seconds to go at Three Rivers Stadium in chilly Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Bill Stone along with Sam Rutigliano and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have never led in this ball game for the second time today. Now they are within one. Teal at the 1-yard line, and here he comes. He is hit at the 20-yard line and bounced down there. Clock's off with 4:18 to play. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad on this update. Ahmad?
All right, in Washington, the Redskins' George Rogers shows some good running behind very good blocking. He goes 34 yards up the middle. The Redskins take the lead 27-24. They're in the fourth quarter.
And Ahmad, just to think, the Bengals at one point early in the second period led the Redskins 24-7. The Skins now leading 27-24. Mathison. Ball club is led all the way. The give is to Bell. He is on his feet, still picking his way across the 23 out near the 24. So the Bengals losing. But at Cleveland Stadium, the Browns out in front of the Oilers. They have led all day. It is now Cleveland 28, Houston 14. If that score continues, even should the Steelers come back and win today, Pittsburgh would have no chance at a playoff spot. And the update you just saw from Ahmad Rashad, it's now the Skins by a field goal over the Bengals. 3 minutes, 39 seconds to play. Second down and 5 again. Here comes Greg Bell. Tries to get to the outside. He is picking his way across the 27. Gary Dunn, the nose tackle, on the tackle.
We're going to have a third down play right here for 3 or 4 yards, which will be the biggest one of the game for young Bruce Mathison.
You know, Sam, we've talked so much about the Buffalo Bills and their inability to win on the road, but you know how tough it is to win on the road? Coming into the 15th week, only the Bears and the Rams are assured of having a winning road record. Everybody else is still up in the air. The Bills, third down and 3. They are 3 of 9 in the third down department. Quick look in. And it is in and out of the hands of Jimmy Teal, the rookie out of Texas A&M. John Swain on the coverage. And the Bills give it up, Sam. The Steelers will have a last gasp with 2:47 to play.
Mathison Anderson is talking to Teal on the sideline. Apparently he wanted him to go to the outside. He went to the inside, and he's slapping his hand right now because the first down
of the game, 77-yard run by Greg Bell gave Buffalo a 7-0 lead. They have never trailed, although Pittsburgh, Sam, on 2 occasions has crept to within 1.
Well, 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Get the ball to your 2 big receivers. There it is right there. The left.
Who victimized the Bills. Today it is Louis Lips.
Look at the top of your screen. He gets past the first one. Now he catches the ball. You got to make the tackle, and that's what makes Lips so much different than other receivers. He's got his 4th reception for 117 yards. They're in great position right now, and they can get a game-winning field goal to win the game.
Charlie Romes, the defensive back for the Bills, said Louis Lips, quite frankly, is the premier wide receiver in the National Football League, and Sam, he has proven that today.
And the way you judge receivers is when they make the big catches. He just made a 46-yard catch, put him in field goal range, and the score is 24-23. They can kick a field goal and win this game.
Scott Campbell, 18 of 37, 276 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. What an afternoon for Campbell, a guy who was running what you call the dummy offense during practice this week.
Well, he apparently prepared himself. He had the first half to try to get in the groove, and he's in the groove in the second half. But he's being helped by a great receiver, Louis Lips.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. 2 minutes to play in the ball game. Campbell wants to go for it. And the ball either was tipped or slipped out of his hands. Good pressure from Bruce Smith. Coming up next, the second half of our doubleheader. We'll be taking you to the Coliseum in Los Angeles, where Charlie Jones and Merlin Olsen are standing by to bring you the Seattle Seahawks and the clash with the Los Angeles Raiders.
I'm surprised they're throwing the ball right now, because I thought they would run, lead the clock, and let Gary Anderson win the game, because Scott Campbell right now does not want to take a sack or throw an interception.
2nd and 10. It is Abercrombie, and oh, is he jammed by Lucius Sanford.
Gary Anderson may not have broken any records today, but he's going to have a chance to win this game, and that's more important.
Gary Anderson is 2 of 3 this afternoon. 26 seconds to play. Clock ticking away. 3rd down and 9.
No sack. He cannot take a sack.
Here's the inside handoff. Pollard took the ball. Flag is down. The flag is down at the 4-yard line. Pollard has the 1st down and more.
It could be against the defensive secondary, and it is.
Said Gary Anderson was 2 of 3. He is 3 of 4 in the field goal department.
12 men on the field. Defense.
Now that was an excellent call. Might have been the best call of the game because it had the one element that you need. Surprise. No one thought they were going to run the football, and they broke the middle of the Buffalo defense. Take a look at the middle of the defense. There it is right there, and he's cleanly into the inside, and there's a block right now by Tunch Ilkin, number 62, and Pollard keeps his feet. Tunch Ilkin, 62, made a key block on that run.
Pollard, 75 yards rushing. He's got the ball again. He'll be close to 80 yards on the day as he carries the football to the 5-yard line.
I'm surprised Buffalo's not using their timeout.
Got a timeout. The clock's out for 56 seconds to play. Buffalo Bills let a good 7 or 8 seconds tick away. We'll be back. The game. Give credit where credit is due. 35,000 strong have come out and braved these frigid conditions. That was the situation when we were away. Both the Steelers and the Bills went to their respective sidelines to huddle, Sam.
Ball's on a 5-yard line. It depends now. Number one, don't fumble the ball. And Buffalo, let's stop them and try to block the field goal.
That's Pollard. And he is stacked up at the 3-yard line. Freddie Smerlis leading the charge.
And that's Buffalo's second timeout.
Pittsburgh has had 18 third down opportunities today. They have converted on 8.
There's number one on the sideline. Gary Anderson. Here comes Campbell over for Buffalo's second timeout. Second down. And all Chuck Noll is going to tell Campbell is to make sure that you have a smooth handoff. Don't fumble the football. It's 50 seconds left to go. We can take one more timeout, kick the ball with about 35 seconds left to go, and we got a very good chance of winning this football game if Gary Anderson hits the game-winning field goal.
Well, this has been Scott Campbell's game to win or lose. At one point, the Steelers were down 21-0 when he came into this ball game.
And you're noticing that keeper the ball on the right hash mark. It was the field goal that he missed, Gary Anderson, in the first quarter that was on the left hash mark, and it hooked to the left. So if they keep it on the right hash mark, right down there right now, they'll give them an opportunity to groove it right in for the game-winning field goal.
Steelers have now scored on their last 29 straight possessions inside their opponent's 20-yard line. 15 seconds to play. Here comes Abercrombie. Touchdown, Steelers. Down on the field is for Frank Pollard. He spiked the ball after Abercrombie.
Demonstration number 30 after the kickoff. Leo Penrice on the kickoff.
And that penalty can hurt because if Buffalo scores a touchdown, the extra point will bring them ahead. Will put them ahead.
Anderson in an attempt to make it a 30-24 Steeler lead. Perfect. So it has taken the Pittsburgh Steelers 59 minutes and 13 seconds to grab a lead in this ball game.
Mathison is getting last-minute instructions by Jim Ringo, the offensive coordinator, and what he's telling him right now that we only have one timeout, and it looks like you're going to have about 40 or less seconds left to go. And that's a tough assignment for any quarterback, let alone a young quarterback in his first starting role. 47 seconds, one timeout. The score now, 30-24 in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Abercrombie scored the game-winning touchdown at this point.
And it only took the Steelers a minute and 47 seconds.
Watch the blocking on the right side of the line, and he follows Frank Pollard, number 30 in. Now Frank Pollard, oh, that's Abercrombie that's going to spike it left-handed, and there's no reason to do that, Phil, because they're penalized in the kickoff.
And it was Pollard's spike after Abercrombie's spike that caused the penalty. The only man who can spike the ball is the man who scores.
The only time you want to spike is when you're playing volleyball.
Now with 47 seconds to play, the Pittsburgh Steelers have done to the Buffalo Bills what 3 teams in this league have done to the Steelers this year, and that is come up with the score late in the ball game to beat you. The Steelers have lost 3 games this year in the final 3 minutes. Anderson to kick it away from the 30-yard line. Mathison at the 10. At the 30-yard line and down there. The clock stops with 41 ticks to play. Cincinnati and the Washington Redskins. It is now late in the fourth period, and the Skins continuing to lead Cincinnati 27-24. And in Cleveland, it's the Browns out in front of Houston 28-14. And coming up next year on NBC, the second half of our doubleheader, Charlie Jones and Merlin are poised high atop the Coliseum in Los Angeles. It's the Seahawks and the Raiders. Well, the Seahawks have had the Raiders number over the last couple of years.
Got to be careful here. This is when quarterbacks throw interception.
And he will not be able to get the pass away. Good pressure by Keith Gary.
I think that was the first sack of the game by the Steelers.
Clock continuing to run. We're inside 20, 19, 18 seconds. Mathison, now a flag is down. It'll be offensive holding. Mathison completes the pass, but they're going to bring it back. Greg Carr on the tackle. Chris Burkett, the receiver. And indeed, it's coming back. Clock is stopped with 11 seconds to play in this ball game.